Hi everyone, I'm Huub Hildenbrand. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. And today is lesson 1 of a complete beginner's course starting from 0. And today I will introduce you to the guitar. So let's get right into the endless ocean of music. So today I will introduce you to the guitar, and for every lesson on this channel there's a PDF file, and usually I'm referring quite a lot to the file, and I suggest that you download it. Just go on the link down below in the description, and I suggest that you print it out and put it in front of you while following the lesson, or also later on maybe you want to reread or restudy some topics, so you have some materials. Okay, let's go on with the lesson. A guitar is a chordophone. A chordophone means it's a stringed instrument. It's in the huge group of chordophones around the globe. And that is, it has strings, and we play on strings. It's essentially the main feature of this instrument. And everything else is built around the strings. So the strings, starting here, they are all held together by this piece here. This is called a tail piece, and it holds the whole tension of all the strings together. And this is about 150 pounds or 70 kilograms. So it's quite a lot what this part has to hold. When we move on, we come to the bridge. And the bridge has two functions. The first function is to keep the string in the correct height. And the second function, especially with acoustic guitars, is to transmit the vibration of the string on to the top of the guitar body. So with my body, with my plectrum and the hand and the arm, I put energy on the string. And by doing so, the string starts to vibrate. And this vibration puts the string back and forth and move in all kind of directions, and brings the bridge to vibrate too. And this vibration gets transmitted to the top of the guitar. So the whole top is vibrating. And I come to the body now here. The body consists of a top, the sides, and the back, usually made from wood. And this is a kind of an amplifier, a sound box which amplifies the sound. If it would be not there, it would be very soft, this instrument, sounding very low in volume. On this bridge you see these small metal parts. That's one kind of construction you don't find on any guitar, but on every guitar, but in this case you have small saddles here where the string go across. And these saddles are quite important because they are adjustable. So I can put them more in front or more on the back. And this is necessary because the strings are of different thickness. And because of that, they are different in the stiffness also. So they're the different grades of stiff, you can say. And especially the lower string is very stiff. So you can try to imagine that if you have a long string which is more stiff, it's really not very much vibrating at the ends. So when it's more loose, it's vibrating more to the ends. And this thing you can adjust here with these saddles. The strings themselves, they are made from metal. They are metal strings, and this is important for electric guitar because they should be they should be magnetic actually. I mean, they should respond to a magnet. And like also on classical guitar, you have nylon strings, plastic strings. You find these two groups of three strings. So you have plain strings, and you have also plain strings which are wired around. So it's called wound strings here. So they have a kind of a normal plain metal core, or made of nylon core on classical guitars, and this is also on classical guitar. It's wound with a metal wire. So if we go on the string, we move here over the neck. This part from here to here is called the neck, and the neck also has a fretboard glued on here. This thing here, you see it also from the side. This whole thing is the neck, and this piece here with very strong dark wood is a fretboard, and this fretboard has inside frets, and these frets are made from metal. But it's actually quite interesting because in German. In German you say Bund, or plural is Bünde. And in this word Bund is implied that it comes from binding. And this was the case with early instruments, that it was a kind of a metal string, metal cord, which was wound around the neck. So instead of putting these metal frets inside the neck, it was a cord wound around this neck, and this is still the case with a lot of instruments of other cultures, like the saz in Turkey, or also the tambur in Turkey. Also the tar has these wound frets. Also the sitar, but this is a bit different, a different system. You have a big metal part, and this is held by these kind of cords, wires, the back of the neck. But actually you have one really big advantage with these wired frets, because you can move them, and this is also frequently done, especially on the sitar. You see this a lot. If you play a different scale, a different raga, different you change the frets, the position a bit, to have the perfect intonation for this piece, you can say. In the neck you have a metal piece going under the fretboard, the whole neck, and this is called the truss rod, and this is necessary if you have metal strings, and I told you that you have like 150 pounds of tension here. This is important to keep the neck stable, but also the whole neck is a bit curved. That's also very important with good instruments, that you have like a perfect kind of a curve. So it's not flat, it's a bit curved, and this curve you can also adjust with a truss rod. So it has a screw here, and you can adjust the whole thing. Okay, if we move further, we come to the nut. the nut is this part here, and this is also the end of the vibrating string. So from the saddles, from the bridge to the nut, this is the full length of the string. Also, when I plug the string, it's called open string. So I don't use my left hand, it's just the whole string vibrating from bridge to nut. In the nut you have 6 notches, and these notches are important to keep the right spacing between the strings. These notches here in the nut, where the strings are going through, it's also sometimes very helpful to put in some graphite. So from a pencil you can just put some graphite in, that they're more slippery. So when you tune them, they don't get stuck, and you tune and suddenly they move. So it's more easy to tune the string correctly, because it's not jumping. And you hear this with bad guitars or bad nuts here. You really hear these noises. If you turn the pack and it's going higher, nothing happens, and suddenly click. So this is not very good, because maybe your note should be right in between. So you should try to put in some graphite from a pencil. And I always take a knife and put some graphite from the pencil down into the notches, and then I put the string back on. Okay, we go on with a head or headstock. The only function for this is to have the tuners mounted on it. And the tuners are, of course, for tuning. So with these tuning packs, we can tune the string, we can tune the guitar. We have the possibilities to tune down, lower the string, or to tune up. And we tune down by turning the pack clockwise. So let's do it now. We play the string and so if we turn it like this, it's getting lower, and if we turn it counterclockwise, we put the string higher, or even higher. Okay, that's the way. Okay, and this same applies for these tuners from here, but of course you have to look from the other side. It's a mental thing. Okay, so counterclockwise higher, clockwise lower. But we will come to tuning the guitar in the next lesson. Okay, so we have another thing here. Because it's an electric guitar, we need a pickup. And this thing here is a pickup. You see these metal parts here, metal screws in it. And the way it works, it's like the string are vibrating, and by vibrating they move more far or more close to a magnetic field here. So in this pickup you have a magnetic field, and this magnetic field is changing when the string is coming closer or going more far from it. And this small change of magnetic field gets amplified. So it gets out through the cable. First it goes through these two pots. We have 2 pots here. This one is volume, and this one is tone. So we can make it more bright here, or more mellow, and here we can make it more loud or soft. And then it goes out here out of this cable into the amplifier, and you can make it very loud through the speakers. On this guitar, you also see something what is quite common for acoustic guitars, but maybe not for this kind of guitar. It's a microphone, and this microphone allows me to amplify the acoustic sound of this instrument too. So this is a kind of important feature, I think, for my how I think about sound. So this microphone, it's a condenser microphone. You have to look it up maybe at another site to find out what this is. We can't really talk about everything here, but I tell you what's important for you to know to have a strong foundation in music. Okay, anyway, so this microphone goes into this F hole here. So we have two F holes on this guitar. They're shaped as an F. So it goes inside the sound box and picks up the sound from inside. Okay, what else? What else do we have here? We have also some markers for orientation on the fretboard. We have inlays here, and the same place where we have inlays, we have also dots. So when we look from here, we can see the dots, and this is quite helpful for orientation. Without these dots, it would be a bit more difficult. Of course, other instruments like violin or double bass, they don't have that, and they can also orient on their fretboards, but we have it easy. Another thing, what is also quite interesting and not very many people know, is that also the frets transmit the vibration to the fretboard, to the neck, to the instrument. So it's a bit similar than the bridge. The vibrating string brings also this fret to vibrate. And if the fret is vibrating, also the fretboard starts to vibrate. But of course, this is not mounted on a sound box. So this plays not such a role as the bridge here, of course. But if you talk to some guitar makers, they will tell you that it's you have to really think what kind of material, how hard this fret should be, what kind of material you use to make the best sound for every guitar. So let's talk briefly about the history of the guitar, where this name guitar coming from. We have actually very old origins of this word. The most recent word is guitarra. It comes from like Andalusian Arabic language, which has in its roots in the Greek kitara or kithara, and this goes back to Persian language sitar. And interestingly, the word tar just means string in Persian language, or in Sanskrit, old Sanskrit language also, tar means string. And you have a lot of instruments which have this tar, like guitar, in the name. You have, for example, the sitar or the dutar. And it's quite interesting because if you say dutar, it just means two strings. So it's an instrument with two strings, dutar. And sitar actually means three playing strings. So these are the origins of the word. The instrument itself has very direct ancestors, and that is the oud coming from northern Africa through Andalusia to Europe, and there in Europe it it's kind of transformed to make the lute from it. So you also hear these two names, oud and lute. They are very, very similar. The oud has no frets and is capable of playing all these microtones you find in these cultures. But the lute has these wound frets, the old lutes, of course, Renaissance instruments. And so this also gives you an idea that because of the frets, you need some kind of equal temperament, some kind of a tuning, not with too many microtones. So this lute was made out of the oud to make our the European music possible, also with playing chords and more voices at the same time. Interestingly, the word oud, or later lute, comes from the Arabic word al-oud, and al-oud means the wood. So it just says it's made of wood. The interesting thing is maybe this was a kind of a special feature of this instrument, or people saw it as a kind of a special feature, that the top was actually also, as the rest of the body, made from wood. Because early on you had a lot of instruments, and you still have a lot of instruments, which doesn't have a wood top, but a skin top. So for example, the tar, the rabab, or even the banjo, or the sarod, they all have skin tops. And in Africa you find a lot of instruments. So I think the kora also, they have all skin tops, and of course a quite different aesthetic of sound production. So maybe that's a case why they say, oh, it's this is a very special thing. It's made from wood. It has a wood top. So to separate it from the group of instruments which have skin tops. Okay. So guitar is basically just a tool incorporating two concepts. One concept is that it should be playable for us humans, so it should be possible to play it as relaxed as possible. And the other concept of the guitar is, or of an instrument, is to represent the music of the culture where it's coming from. So every culture, every culture has its own way of expression, and also we have a lot of different systems of tonal organization, of different concepts about what are right notes and what are wrong notes. But as you will see, hopefully, during the process of the course, you also see that it's all very, very much connected. I myself was very busy, and I studied very much the Indian classical music and the Turkish classical music, beside, of course, studying jazz, also at Berklee College of Music and in Rotterdam and Amsterdam. And so I found out that there are a lot of close links between all these different cultures, and I would be happy to share this here on this channel with you. So as I said, the guitar is just a tool, but it's an amazing tool. It's really a tool which let us connect with a different world, with a world of sound, and this is something you cannot really describe. It's a wonderful thing we have in our life. It's almost like a transcendental thing. You can say this, to get in touch with this other, maybe more emotional, more heartfelt thing. And this is something I think what's also missing in our culture. Okay, I think enough is said for the first lesson. If you like the lesson, please subscribe to my channel. And also there is if you want to support my work here with this channel, you can donate. You can go to my website. There's a link down below in the description where you can go to guitar-academia.com, and there you find a button where you can donate. And of course, downloading the PDF file, not all actually costing something, but downloading a PDF file which normally costs 99 cents also supports my work here. Okay, thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand.